What's great, hustlers and finance finessers? Welcome back to another video. This is Kim Got Hustle, where we discuss personal finance and self-development in order for us to become better hustlers. If you're new here, my name's Kenneth Collins. You're not going to want to miss this one, so make sure you hustle over and finesse that like and subscribe button. Now, if you've seen the title and the thumbnail, you already know what to expect. In today's video, we're going to be going over how I saved $50,000 in under a year. Damn! So let's get right into it. Now, three things had to happen in order for me to save this much. Now, the first and the most important being to choose a savings method and put it into action. I have an entire video on saving and building saving habits and savings tips. I'll leave that in the description as well as in the link above for you to go check that out. Now, the method I chose was to do a straightforward set dollar amount saved on a routinely basis. I saved a set dollar amount every 2 weeks beginning at the start of the year. In my other video, I referenced the 50-30-20 rule, where you are going to use 50% of your incomes towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards your savings. I use this technique, but with a little twist. Instead of 50% for my needs, I switched that for my savings. So the way I did it was 50% towards savings, 30% towards my needs, and 20% towards my wants. Now, you guys by no means have to do it this way. The way I save is pretty aggressive. I use a pretty aggressive saving method and I save as much as I can, but all you need to do is save as much as you can, whether that be 10, 20, 30, whatever works best for you. Choose that and stick with that. Before you can choose what works best for you, you're going to want to create a budget so you can know how much you can allocate towards your savings and how much is going to be allocated towards your needs and your wants. After you do this, choose a routine and stick to it. The key here is to stay consistent. Now, the second thing I did to increase my savings potential was to reduce expenses. Now, again, I have an entire video dedicated to expenses you can eliminate in order for you to increase your savings. Again, I will leave that in the description as well as a link above. Given the current state of the world due to the pandemic, I was actually able to reduce my expenses quite easily and in a natural way. The first expense that I cut was my gym membership. At the beginning of the year, I was going to a gym regularly, and because of the pandemic, everything began to close, and that included gyms. Since then, I started working out at home and I was able to save that way. The next expense that was cut was gas. Now, like the gyms, offices and businesses began to go remote to promote social distancing. Luckily for me, my company went remote and I started working from home, eliminating the need to commute and saving money on gas. I also saved money by cutting out eating at restaurants and recreational activities such as going to the movies and going to bars. Okay, now the last and probably the biggest expense that I cut was my living expense. Now, I own a triplex and I live in one unit while I rent out the other two. At the beginning of the year, some tenants decided to move out, and when they did this, I renovated that unit and was able to rent it out at a higher price. Now, I was lucky enough to find tenants that wanted to move in at that price, which increased my rental income and reduced the amount that I had to pay for mortgage/rent. My last video is a great example of some things that you could get rid of that you probably won't even miss and reduce your expenses drastically. The third and final thing I had to do to increase my savings was to increase my income. By increasing your income, you have more disposable money. By choosing to save this, you really boost your savings and savings potential. Now, the first way I increased my income was by getting a work raise. 2019 was a pretty good year for me in my career, and when my review came up in 2020, despite everything going on, I was lucky enough to get a good review and get a raise. So this was the first way I was able to increase my income. The second way I was able to increase my income was by investing in the stock market. Now, I need to give a little disclaimer. When I tell you guys that I am making these savings, all of my savings go into an investment account. So I don't save all of my money in the checkings account. I do have a checkings account and a small savings, but the bulk of my money is being invested into a brokerage account. I invested my money in the stock market, and I was able to get extra cash in the form of dividends and increased stock value. Okay, I gotta let you guys know something. In order for me to hit that number, that $50,000 savings number, I was holding on to a stock for about 2 years. And in March, during the height of the pandemic, the stock markets were very volatile. There were a lot of stocks that were decreasing, and there were a lot of stocks that were skyrocketing. I was fortunate to be holding onto a stock that increased in value so much so that I gained $15,000 on this stock.
Nice.
Now, this $15,000 capital gain on this stock is a big contributor to that $50,000 number. And it was a big contributor to the third way I increased my income, and that's by day trading. So after I made the $15,000 in the stock market, combined with the savings I was doing throughout the year, by June I was able to save up $25,000. Now, in the US, in order to day trade, you have to have an account with the minimum of $25,000. If you don't, you'll run into a whole bunch of restrictions. So it was important for me to save up this amount in order for me to start day trading. And this is a side hustle that I started. And with the day trading, I was able to make an average of about $50 to $100 a day. And that was my goal. My goal was only to try to make $100 a day. And if I could do that, it was a successful day. However, in the stock market, things aren't always clear cut. You could have good days and you could have bad days. And there are days where I made money, and there are also days where I lost money. But overall, throughout the year, I was net positive, so I'm including that number into my savings total. Just a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not advising you on what to do with your money. I'm simply giving you what I did with my money and educating you on my process and my experiences. Results will vary person to person depending on your financial situation and circumstance. Okay, so just to recap, in order to boost your savings potential, you're going to want to establish a habit and method of saving, a way to reduce your expenses, and a way to increase your income. And I want to be very clear. When we talk about savings, this means putting the money away. And I say this because what you tend to see with people when they start to reduce their expenses or increase their income is that they find new ways to spend. People will cut out expenses in one category and then transfer it into another category. This is not saving. Vice versa. People will increase their income, let's say in the form of a raise from work, and buy a new car or get a luxury apartment. This also is not saving. It should be our goal to decrease our liabilities while increasing our assets. Liabilities are anything that take money out of our pockets, while assets are anything that puts money in them. I just want to take the time out to let you guys know that this video is in no way meant to be a flex or a brag. I understand that many people have been devastated financially, and I sympathize with you, and my heart goes out to you. This video was intended to motivate and to inspire, to let you guys know that there's still light at the end of the tunnel if you decide to work for it. It's also very important to not compare. Your number may be very different from my number, and that's fine. As long as you're doing what you need to get to where you need to be, you're on the right track. Always remember, you are the center of your success. What success is to you is going to be totally different than what success is to me. So focus on what you need to do and what's best for you, and go after that. So you're probably wondering what I'm going to do with the money I've saved up. Half of it's going to stay in the stock market in order for me to continue to day trade and continue to make money that way. The other half I'm going to most likely use as a down payment towards my next property. So stay tuned, because I want to make sure I keep you guys updated and you can follow me on my journey, and I'll let you know what I'm doing for the future. I have a lot of stuff planned. So if you like this video and it brought you any kind of value, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And it's very important that you guys comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have specific questions, or you guys want to reach out to me and let me know something, leave it in the comments. I will get back to you. I will be replying to all of the comments, so be sure to do that. I want to leave you guys with a quote from one of my favorite authors, Robert Kiyosaki, and that's, "It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep. How hard that money works for you, and how many generations you keep it for." And with that being said, I want to wish you guys peace, positivity, and prosperity.